Good day everyone, welcome to SIideMed. Today we're going to be discussing on anemia, and this will be the first anemia video. Today we're going to talk about the introduction. I'm going to give a brief introduction to anemia, and we're going to look at the classification of anemia. Anemia is classified under two categories. We have morphological classification and a etiological classification. And then furtherly, under the etiological classification, we have hemorrhagic anemia and hemolytic anemia, nutrition deficiency anemia, aplastic anemia, and anemia of chronic diseases. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to be considering only two of them, hemorrhagic anemia and hemolytic anemia. In our second video of the anemia series, we're going to talk about the other three. Okay, so let's just go over it. Anemia is a blood disorder characterized by the reduction in number 1, red blood cell count, number 2, hemoglobin content, number 3, packed cell volume. So let's remember it: number 1, red blood cell count, number 2, hemoglobin content, and number 3, packed cell volume. Now all these can occur as a result of decreased red blood cell production, increased destruction of RBC, and excess loss of blood from the body. So all these can cause all this, which results in anemia. Now let's look at classification of anemia. Anemia is classified by two methods. Number 1, we have morphological classification, and number 2, the etiological classification. Morphological classification we know is by size and all that, color. Okay, so morphological classification depends upon the size and the color of the red blood cells. The size of red blood cells is determined by the mean corpuscular volume. Medically, that's what we use to measure the size of red blood cells, the mean corpuscular volume, while the color is determined by the mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. By this method, anemia is classified into 4 types. Okay, because of this variability in size and color, anemia is classified into 4 types. Number 1, nomocytic nomochromic anemia. Nomocytic nomochromic anemia. Now from the name nomocytic, that's normal, then cytic, the size of the cell, normal size of the cell, then nomochromic, chromic, which has to do with the color, that's normal color. So we see that the size and the color of the red blood cells are normal, but the number of RBC is less. Okay, that's what we have in nomocytic and nomochromic anemia. The size and the color of the red blood cells are normal, but the number of red blood cells is less. The second type we have under this method is the macrocytic nomochromic anemia. Here the red blood cells are larger in size with normal color, while the red blood cell count is less. The red blood cells are larger in size with normal color, while the red blood cell count is less. Now number 3, we have the macrocytic hypochromic anemia. In this case, the red blood cells are larger in size, while the color is less. So the cells are pale, they're less colored. Pale, they're less colored. So these are the differences we have under this classification. The fourth one is the microcytic hypochromic anemia. In this case, the red blood cells are smaller in size with less color. So let's remember that all these are under the morphological classification, which is differentiated into size and color. Okay, so let's not forget. Now let's move on to the second method of classification. We have the etiological classification. Anemia can be classified into 5 types based on etiology. Etiology means the study of cause or origin. Number 1 is the hemorrhagic anemia. Number 2 is the hemolytic anemia. Number 3 is the nutrition deficiency anemia. And number 4, aplastic anemia. Number 5 is anemia of chronic diseases. I said earlier that for the purpose of this video, we're going to be considering only 2 of these. That's hemorrhagic anemia and hemolytic anemia. In our second video, we're going to look at the other 3, okay, and also look at the signs and symptoms of anemia. That's for the second video, but for this video, we're just going to look at these 2 classifications of anemia under etiological classification. Okay, let's look at the first one, hemorrhagic anemia. We know what hemorrhage is. Hemorrhage refers to excessive loss of blood. Okay, so therefore, hemorrhagic anemia refers to anemia due to excess of blood, excess of loss of blood. Okay, it occurs both in acute and chronic hemorrhagic conditions. What do you mean by acute? The blood is being lost at a faster pace, while chronic is little by little. Okay, that's even more tragic. Okay, so let's look at the first one, acute hemorrhage. Okay, this refers to sudden loss of a large quantity of blood, either by accident or by any other external cause. Okay, so within about 24 hours after the hemorrhage, the plasma portion of blood is replaced. However, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for the replacement of lost red blood cells. Okay, so we see that after this accident that causes the hemorrhage, plasma portion of blood is replaced after 24 hours. So it takes faster for the plasma to be replaced. But red blood cells, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks before it can be replaced. So this condition then leads to anemia when there is not enough red blood cells. Okay, so the blood begins to lose its hemoglobin content and then supplies less oxygen to the tissues. Okay, so let's look at chronic hemorrhage. It refers to loss of blood by internal or external bleeding over a long period of time. It's not fast like acute hemorrhage, so it takes place over a long period of time. It occurs in conditions like peptic ulcer, okay, purpura, and hemophilia. So this in turn causes loss of blood and hemoglobin deficiency. The cells also become small. Therefore, the RBCs in this state are microcytic and hypochromic. Okay, so if you remember the morphological classification we did earlier, you understand what microcytic and you understand what hypochromic is relating to the size and the color of the red blood cells. So in chronic hemorrhage, the cells become small and then the red blood cells become pale colored instead of the normal orange color. Okay, so this is what happens in chronic hemorrhage. So that's the etiological classification, based on the cause. What causes it? You see, it can be acute, it can be chronic. Okay, so let's look at another etiological classification, hemolytic anemia. Now, hemolysis means destruction of red blood cells. Therefore, hemolytic anemia is defined as anemia caused as a result of hemolysis of red blood cells which is not compensated by increased production of red blood cells. So this causes anemia. Hemolysis of red blood cells which is not compensated. That's a very important point to note. It is not compensated by increased production of red blood cells. Then it can be classified into two types. We have extrinsic hemolytic anemia, and number two, we have intrinsic hemolytic anemia. From the names, you can already tell where we're going to. So number one, extrinsic hemolytic anemia, okay, is a type of hemolytic anemia caused by external factors such as antibodies, drugs, and chemicals. Okay, caused by external factors such as antibodies, drugs, and chemicals. Now, common causes include liver failure, renal disorder, drugs such as penicillin, and other anti-malarial drugs. Okay, it can also be caused by infections like hepatitis, malaria, and septicemia. Okay, you can also look up other things, other causes that might warrant extrinsic hemolytic anemia. Okay. The second type of hemolytic anemia we have is the intrinsic hemolytic anemia. It is a type of hemolytic anemia caused by the presence of defective red blood cells. Okay, it's intrinsic because the red blood cells itself, they are bad. Okay, they are defective, and so it now leads to because of there is production of these unhealthy red blood cells. They begin to develop short lifespan, and then when they have short lifespan, they destroy earlier than expected. So it causes anemia in that case. Okay, so when there's defective red blood cells, there's production of unhealthy red blood cells. Their span is short-lived. The normal span of red blood cells is 120 days, so it becomes reduced about, let's say, about 65 days, and then it destroys very soon, and then the body is not being able to compensate it with enough production of red blood cells, so it causes anemia. Now, this type of hemolytic anemia is they are often inherited. It's not like external. It's something that is inherited. It's something that is something, maybe it's a distortion in the gene sequence, or inherited from the parents or from any other person. Okay, so we have this type of hemolytic anemia, they are often inherited like sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. What is sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder characterized by sickle-shaped red blood cells. Okay, sickle-shaped red blood cells. It can also be called hemoglobin SS disease or sickle cell disease. Okay, so sickle cell anemia is also a type of hemolytic anemia. We also see thalassemia. Thalassemia is also an inherited disorder characterized by abnormal hemoglobin, which has two types, and alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia. we're going to discuss that in subsequent videos, but let's just understand the basis of this. We're talking about hemolytic anemia, and I've seen the two types: extrinsic hemolytic anemia and intrinsic hemolytic anemia. The first one, extrinsic, is caused by external factors such as drugs, caused by drugs, chemicals and antibodies such as that. And then the intrinsic we see caused by defective red blood cells, production of unhealthy red blood cells because of an alteration in the gene sequence and because of the inheritance of abnormal genes. You understand? So they can be found in patients that have sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. Okay, so that will be all for this video. Like I said earlier, this video is the first of two videos we're going to be doing on anemia, and in the second video we're going to tackle the other three classification of anemia. Okay, no, we said we're going to be treating only hemorrhagic and hemolytic. Then we're going to tackle the other three in the second video, and then we're also going to see the signs and symptoms of anemia. We're going to see the signs and symptoms of anemia. We're going to see how anemia affects our digestion, how anemia affects the kidney, how anemia affects the metabolism of the body, how anemia affects respiration, how anemia affects the reproductive system. So it's going to be a very extensive video explaining the distortion anemia causes in our body. So thank you all for watching. Please endeavor to subscribe to our channel to receive more videos on physiology and anatomy, and we will be forever grateful for that. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.